Okay, good. That's exactly one of the purposes of the meeting in the next couple of days. We're going to do a lot of interesting work, but one of the main themes is to get to know each other. Our purpose is to build a kind of community out of this group. I mean, how many of you know everybody in the room? Nobody knows, right? I want that to occur. I want you to know each other. I know most of you. Well, that's maybe an exaggeration. I know many of you, and I know your work. And your work is really distinguished, and it's outstanding, and it's interesting to me. And so mixing it up is one of the things I want to do. And we'll do that through some presentations, some of them very short, some of them longer, and also just meeting and getting to know each other. Today, geospatial technology, or GIS, is very valuable. It's being applied in literally hundreds of applications and hundreds of thousands of organizations around the world. And it's safe to say it's making a difference in sustainability. It's helping us improve how we plan, how we manage, how we make decisions. And it's growing to become a kind of critical infrastructure in the world. But it's not design. It's bringing science to many fields. This is one of the passions that I have had my entire career, is bringing rational thinking and science to the way people do things. And yet, it's not design. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss this notion of these two fields: geography, the science of our world, measurement, modeling, predicting, describing the world, mixed up with design, a purposeful, intentional process of creating things, creating the future, seeing the future in your mind's eye. And both of these things lend themselves to the spatial domain, something that we'll hear from a number of the speakers on this morning. The notion of integrating these two fields is very exciting to me, that we have a kind of continuum from measurement to making decisions that integrate all of our ways of doing things into new processes. This notion of geodesign is about geographic planning, it's about decision making, and it's not just within the design field. It extends beyond what we traditionally call design, land use planning, landscape architecture, urban design, and so on, to almost every field. In other words, geodesign, I think, is a kind of evolutionary step. This is an assertion on my part. And like GIS, the technology, which has become increasingly pervasive as a foundation for the way we do things, I think this new, dare I say, field or body of knowledge, or thinking about linking these two worlds together, I think will be used in almost everything we do as humans. It'll be done by individuals, it'll be done in collaborations and teams, it'll be done connecting citizens with government, with private practice, all supported by new generations of technologies. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss this, influence some of the research that some of you are doing, influence some of the professional practice that others of you are doing, influence public policy and how we think about bringing these fields together, influencing technology and how we build fundamental infrastructure for enabling these ideas to be supported. GIS technology itself, and we'll see some of this later today, continues to evolve. When I first met Carl Steinitz, who will be speaking later this morning, at the Lab for Computer Graphics, we ran on mainframe computers, and there was printer maps, and it was goofy sort of technology in the technology domain. But the ideas were full and rich, and what Carl started there and other people started in other locations around the world gave meaning to and purpose to playing around with the technology. It gave a sort of sense of direction and got me totally turned on and excited. We moved from there to mini computers and workstations, and then PCs and client-server computing. Today, we're moving to a new platform, the web, and we'll play with that this morning in some of your presentations this afternoon, and tomorrow we'll also show experimental things going on there. This environment is a new style for how geography will be served and how it will affect us. It'll touch not simply a few researchers, not simply GIS professionals, not simply practitioners of geographic information, but it's infecting and affecting virtually everything that humans do. Location-based services are an example of it, showing up with little navigation and personal direction devices. That is exploding. But where that will go, bringing science, bringing the way that we understand the world, the way that we model the world into human behaviors is just gives me the chills. I know that will happen. I know that from my experience of watching the technology evolve through these different stages. And I would suggest and assert here that we're just beginning this particular field. Again, these are trends that are almost predictable. Faster computers, more bandwidth, more storage, more mobility in devices, cloud computing. For some of us, that's all brand new. For me, it's just another step. Some people describe this as disruptive kinds of technologies. For me, it's just another step in the evolution of the enabling technology and power that will allow us to bring these new ideas that will come out of this meeting. Organizations are beginning to serve geographic knowledge, and that's providing a new infrastructure for us to build on top of. Hopefully some of the knowledge notions, design notions that we come up with here today, think about, present today, will be built on this kind of infrastructure. In other words, agencies will not be providing data files or maps. They'll be providing services, and these services will be a new framework, just like the Apple iPhone is providing a framework for all kinds of apps taking off and everybody touching them. These geospatial services and the ability to build creative applications on top of them will explode our field and the general interest of designing our future. And God only knows that we need this right now. We need to not only understand what's occurring on the planet, but we also need to take more proactive involvement in designing what occurs. And then we have to promote that design, those designs, those creations, those in our mind's eyes expressions to the rest of society. And that's the challenge.